Yeah, I was away for a while, and I'm sorry about that. It's just life is lifing, as the kids say nowadays. They just put ing on almost the end of everything. Anyway, so I recently had my birthday, the 24th September, and yeah, I guess today's topic is just kind of about life and how, at least specifically, numbers are integrated into our life. Is it kind of like a deep thinking episode? Somewhat, if you want to. You can think about it that way, but really this episode is just kind of like thinking about life beyond, you know, being personable and the whole mental and physical state of what we know life is, family, friends, and all that kind of stuff. And that is all great. And also, this is just more about trying to think about, at least for me, because I've grown up feeling very indifferent towards a lot of things. And you'd probably kind of get that from one of my prior episodes called Figuring It Out. I'm not going to try and go too much into that one, but if you are somewhat interested, just learning a little bit about my history, who I am as a person, how I am emotionally, then, hey, give it a shot. You might like it, you might not. I definitely will say a lot of my relationships with people is very kind of just sculpted and molded in the moment, less about the years of friendship and family. Anyway, talking about birthdays, again, being very and feeling very indifferent with about a lot of stuff. To me, a birthday is just a very, just at least now, being 26, just feeling very another day. Plus, I was sick as fuck on my birthday, so that didn't exactly help the situation. But since I was maybe about like 20 or 21, I felt very indifferent about birthdays, or just really kind of any national holiday and any personal holiday, if you will, so such as a birthday. Most days are just days. They're all just molded into this just clay of just a circle. Everything just feels the same. There is no difference. Then again, that is probably also that is on me as well, which is kind of ironic because I enjoy that kind of lifestyle, and here I am feeling like I'm moaning about it. But no, I wouldn't say necessarily moaning about it, and I've got a bike going past, so if you hear that, that's what that is. I live pretty much downtown, like small city area in upstate New York, and I pretty much live relatively next to a somewhat busy intersection. Anyway, and I'm by no means am I trying to shit on birthdays, Christmases, any of these holidays, because they are all great stuff. They bring family together. They are filled with a plethora of emotions, and it is great. It is. It's so like, it's just, to me, I don't feel that way anymore. At least, let me say it that way. I mean, when I was a kid, during Christmas and any of that shit, birthday, Christmas, all that kind of stuff, I was an annoying little shit, and my parents can agree to that. I was, yeah, I was, no disagreement there. I think another thing for this whole kind of like realization of life being a numbers game is almost feeling like I'm giving up my lifetime at work. I'm just kind of giving up my lifetime for anything, for a little sliver of what I want. And again, this whole area is I'm not a special human being in the regard of this. I'm speaking purely for the fact that that's how I just feel about life. Someone could feel completely different about what I'm talking about right now, and that's absolutely fine. I mean, they can completely disregard this whole individual conversation because I'm talking technically to myself right now. But it's giving up lifetime at work, or at least just, again, giving up lifetime in general for whatever little sliver of time you have left on this world to do what you want with family and friends, to do what you want. Now, that's also kind of just another reason as to why I feel almost trapped. At least a lot of people do. And I am one of many, many people who feel this way. Time is an endless loop. Time it is. And especially when you are very good at your job, you don't want to try and do anything else. And then because you're so good at it, time just kind of goes by. And then maybe the hobby you picked up, which could be boating a car, just kind of slowly slips away. And that's kind of what happened with this podcast almost, was I didn't post anything for about, or at least a full episode for pretty much a month, because time just diverged into my life. And like what felt like a few days was actually 3 weeks to a month. And especially time as grow up, years, weeks, days, it's insane. Like when I look back to when I was a kid, time felt super fucking long. The school days felt long as hell. Homework, long as hell. Now, an hour feels like a few minutes. But then again, it's this whole concept of, if you watch, I think it's this term, if you watch a kettle boil, it won't boil. I mean, it will, but it's this whole concept of, if you watch something and you focus hard enough, it's not going to happen any faster. So it's just kind of just live and let be, if you will. Live and let be. So I guess with that whole concept of time, I've grown to be a very patient human being. And I'm not trying to be heroic, and I'm not trying to be pretending that I'm, that I'm this awesome human being who has the patience of fucking Gandhi. Hell no. I mean, would I say that I'm patient compared to most? Sure. I also do work a very forward-facing job where patience is a huge key factor as well. So there is also that. But you almost don't feel like there's enough time in the world to really do what you want. And that is really why you have to kind of like this whole grasp life and just do it. This whole Nike slogan. Anyway, so, and now rolling into numbers specifically for me at least, is I was super into calisthenics, and I still am. And I just haven't done it for a while, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, because I was super, super into it when COVID hit. And, dude, it was probably the fittest I ever was. Even, when I even played rugby, I think at that time and point when I was doing calisthenics, like 5-6 days a week, that was probably the healthiest I've ever been in my life. I was doing it constantly. I mean, sure, I was still smoking cigarettes, but fuck. Now, for me, calisthenics was also a meditation, I guess. It almost became less about a workout and more as a meditation. I used numbers. That's how I kept track of my workout, as people do. But the way that calisthenics people do it, and I'm not, and people who with weights do it as well. But the way that I did it, and I really really liked, was it was either called the pyramid method or the ladder method. It was one of the two. So the way the pyramid method works, or the ladder method, is you would do pretty much the full rep. So I'm just going to do a generic number, 20. You would do 20. Once you've done your 20, you would do 19. Once you've done your 19, 18. Compared to the whole, you do 20 reps, stop for like 30 seconds to a minute, you do another 20 reps. So I think the way that I also did that was, it was also the way to get a really good workout in and not feel like I had to try and reach a huge, significant number. It was truly a mind game. It really was. Because when I started with calisthenics, I was watching videos where people were doing like street calisthenics, New York. They were doing crazy numbers. They were doing like 500, 600, 700, 800 reps. And I was like, holy fuck. If I was going to try and do 800 reps of anything, fuck no. It would have been, no, I would have absolutely deterred myself. It was, but if I tweaked it a little bit and I did more research into it, how people worked out how they did their reps, how they kept track of their reps. And one way was that ladder/pyramid method. And shit, it worked. So I think, because I do still have my like workout regime in here from like 3-4 years ago. Let me try and find it real quick. Push pull squat. Yeah, here it is. So 25 down. It was also called down method, but the ladder method, you're climbing down the ladder. Anyway, 25 down. The total for that, 325. 30 down. The total for that, 465. Now I think I was gonna try and do this one, 65 down. That totals 2,145. So, if I was to put like a piece of paper in front of you, I wrote down, you gotta give me, 100 push-ups versus you gotta give me 10 down. I think 10 down is like 55. I could be wrong, but I think it was 55. But let's say it was 55. It could be 55. I could be wrong. For this example, let's say it is 55. You look at 100, give me 100 push-ups, that's it. Versus give me 2 sets of 10 down. That's 55 times 2, 110. You look at the 100, you're like, oh, fuck, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. You look at the 10. It's doable. Like, life is also a very subjective outlook as well, but that's another episode. But I definitely had to trick myself into wanting to work out. And that's how I was able to do it. And shit, I really need to get back into it. I do, holy fuck, because damn, I enjoyed it. And keeping track, it's kind of like when you can't sleep, you count sheep to kind of try and put you back into that sort of meditative kind of state to where you can fall back to sleep. It's kind of the same concept, but for this one, you're pretty much sweating fucking buckets and your body hurts the next day. Shit, calisthenics, man. I don't know, I regret it. I mean, like, I wish I really kept with it, because I did it for a solid almost 2 years, man. Almost 2 years. Now, we live in such a day and age where technology, streaming, YouTube, music, anything like that is now, if you when and if you get monetized, we are so worried about views and likes, and that in correlation to how much money it'll give us. Because I'm filming this on my 15 Pro Max, and it is a way to make money. It is. And, sure, am I trying to do this to get out of the loop of working my life away for a big corporation that could give less of a fuck about me as an individual? Again, P.S., I'm not a special human being. I'm not saying they have to care about me. This is just the way I feel. I don't want to keep working for big corporations. I don't want to keep working for the head honcho. I want to be able to feel like I'm in control of my own life. Now, it's ironic, sure. If I was able to make money, of course I'll be somewhat, not worried. The word I guess would be skeptical, or kind of interested in how many views I like and likes I get, plus the retention value of each video, plus pretty much all that stuff, and how that can correlate into how much money one will make in that month based upon the video, the music, all that stuff they put out there. So whatever you're watching this on, tablet, phone, laptop, they are ways to make money through that. And hell, I'm a small fish in a big pond that is Earth, and I am one of millions and billions of people with the dream of being able to become a full-time YouTuber, content creator, anything along those lines. It takes hard work, it does. And obviously, the content you put out there, the likes, the views, that all adds up to the whole monetization. Again, I'm being skeptical. I don't know if that does, but that's just kind of how I've seen it. Plus, the retention rate is also another big factor, because I did some research into what really makes a video / a short or a music video basically stand out, and it is the retention value. How many people are watching your video for the length of time, or at least an extended length of time? So if you are someone who is interested in doing the whole YouTube space, Spotify, music, hey, just start it. It's interesting, and it really is. Do research, understand what it is, and just go for it. Say, fuck it, pull up your pants, and just put shit out there. Because, hot take, there are people out there who are making millions who do not, me personally, I do not feel like they fucking earned it at all, because they do absolute jack fucking shit. But there are people out there with actual skill sets like you who, with hard work, can make it. Shit. Yeah, it's a hell of a time. It really is. Talking about that, I mean, shit. Feeling like there's not enough time on this earth, because, again, I'm almost, I'm no, not even halfway to 30. I'm like, 5 years away? No, 4 years away from being 30. And, shit, I mean, yes, technically it's 4 years, but it's gonna feel like 2.5, maybe even a year and a half, and I'll be 30, because what's funny is I can vividly remember my graduation, and that was in 2017. People will also argue that because it was such a memorable event, that's a reason why I can remember it. which is true. I mean, shit. I mean, so what even is time? I mean, hell, I don't know. I just wrote this question down because I thought it was interesting as fuck. I'm not a scientific person, but I guess what time, to me at least, is our life force, if you will. Because, you know, you have this whole concept of what is a soul. It'd be ironic if your soul was your time. Because then again, I mean, shit. Our age is our time, and we're slowly just ticking away. And I'm unnecessarily getting dark and deep for no fucking reason. But it would be interesting to maybe think about the concept that our soul is time. Time is our soul, specific to us. Shit, that could be another potential concept to think about. And I'm not really even a spiritual person. I'm a very physical person. I need to physically touch it. I need to see it. But at the same time, completely shutting something down because you're not there is... It's a disservice. Because it's... Just because it can't be seen doesn't always mean... I'm not saying it exists or it's real, but completely shutting it down and making someone who's trying to argue that fact just say no is a disservice to them. Just listen and agree to disagree and then move on. Now, talking about time, and at least the general concept of time, apparently we sleep an average of 26 years. An average of 26 years. Now that's if you were thinking about the perfect, like, world if you sleep 8 hours. I mean, my sleep schedule's fucking out of whack. I mean, shit. Yesterday I slept 6 hours. Today I slept like 4.5. Today, I mean, I gotta wake up early as fuck for work, so I'll probably at least get at least a bare minimum of 6 hours in. But like, in the perfect world, if you're sleeping 8 hours a day, every day for the rest of your life, you'll be sleeping for 26 years. Now, I also did look up the average lifespan of the average human being for the world. And apparently it's between 74 and 75 years. Now, let's say we go ahead and take out 26 from 75. Our technical average lifetime on this earth is 49 to 50 years. For the fuck of it, I'm just going to say 51. And again, please don't come at me for this, like, saying you're wrong, or you're right, I've done the researches. This is just a kind of open kind of concept of our general lifespan on this earth is 49 to 50 years. When you, at least for me, when I think about it that way, and I take a step back, it's kind of interesting to think about that I have somewhat already reached a portion of that. So again, I'm 26. Shit, you probably watch this back and say, like, do a game of how many times this fucking stupid kid said 26. Take a shot. Anyway. I think if I do the maths, I'll probably have lived maybe 5 or maybe 7 years of that technical 49 or 50. Maybe 8. And it's it made me think of, like, kind of what I've really done with my life. And yeah, sure, I've moved from the UK, I've come to the States to try and make something of myself, I've traveled a good portion of the world thanks to my parents. I've got family and friends in different parts of the world that I can meet. It's life shouldn't be squandered on like that. I mean, like, and again, I'm someone who's very blunt. I don't pretend that life is all sunshine and rainbows. To me at least, life is just it's like a horizon, and I will see the sun rise and I'll see the sun set, and then it's dark for the rest of the day. But now it's like I want to get off of that pedestal. I want to get off of that horizon. I want to move. I want to see the world. I want to try and take whatever the fuck this is I'm doing around the world at some point. Yeah, it was a very big eye opener. Plus, unfortunately, there was a kind of person who recently passed away. Not a relative, but just a colleague, or not even a colleague, just a kind of someone that I would say hi to in the hallway of the residential space I live in. And he was full of life, and shit, it was one of those things of just like, plus when I was doing this whole concept of what even is time or life in numbers, I really need to do more with my life. For the lack of a better word, I do. And I'm trying. I am. At least I think I am. I mean, hell. Apparently we're even made up of numbers. I mean, science is a hell of a fucking story. I mean, shit. Let me just double check that, because I could be completely wrong. Is the human body made up of numbers? Okay, here we go. Yes, the human body is made up of numbers in a few ways. Number of cells. The human body is made up of trillions of cells, which is the fundamental unit of life. The number of cells in the body varies by age and sex. The estimate of around 30 trillion cells in an adult, 28 trillion in the female, and 17 trillion in the child. God damn. Number of elements. The human body is made up of 26 elements, with oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen making up about 96% of the body's material. Jesus Christ. Okay. Number of particles. The human body is made up of fundamental particles like electrons. What the hell? Quarks? Quarks? Quarks. Quarks? Quarks. And gluons. What are these names? Electrons are small, and around a million trillion of them weigh a kilogram. And then cell size and number. There is an inverse relationship between cell size and number, meaning that larger cells are fewer in number than smaller cells. Okay, I guess we are made up of numbers. Physically, in a sense. And then, now, this one's going to kind of go back to money. Numbers are a status. It is a status symbol. I guess an example is automobiles. How much cc does your bike have? 700 versus 2500. How many horses does your car have? 800 versus 260. How much do you spend on your car? Oh, I spent 100 grand. Oh, I got mine secondhand. I got it for 5,800. it is also a status symbol, and to some people, status means more than the actual use of what they bought that status symbol for. I mean, shit. I mean, a house is a house. It's a roof over your head. And there are unfortunately people out there that will, unfortunately, disregard you because you're not able to, you don't have a certain car and you're within a certain group that have cars that are way more expensive, much faster, and just look cooler than yours. And status is it's a killer. It is, because people will also kill for status. How many people did you steal from, or how much money did you take from the cash register? How much did you all this? Because that also will be based upon the status symbol of said person who did the bad shit. It's a fucked concept, but it's a concept nonetheless. Now, this one is kind of irrelevant. It could be also relevant. Time can be our biggest asset or greatest regret. Yeah. So, time can be our biggest asset or greatest regret. Okay, so for me, I've still got plenty of time to try and reach my goals. But there are unfortunately some people in this world who haven't gotten the chance to reach their goal or do what they want. So if you were given the chance to rewind your whole life or a portion of your life, would you? For me, yes. Okay. If it was me, I would rewind the portion of my life that was university. Only for the fact that I now feel that I've now graduated university, I do have my degree. I feel like I would have learned more out in the actual field, out actually asking questions rather than learning. Now, not saying college or university is a bad thing, but just specifically for what I was doing, photography, especially fine art photography, at least now, I don't feel like it was necessary. So if I could rewind at least, or redo those 4 years of my life, I would. Do I regret it? No, I don't regret it, because it taught me what I do know now. How to research, how to present myself as a person. Pretty much how to do it also just kind of taught me how to grow up, in a sense, because, again, college is a portion of your life where you're kind of transferring from young adulthood to full adulthood. So it did also teach me how to grow up. But for some people, unfortunately, their dreams and goals were unfortunately too great, and the time when this world was too short. And shit. Would I want to extend my life beyond the average lifespan of 75? Sure. Would I want to live forever? No. If we ever got to a point where we could, where everyone could live forever, that'd be cool. But then again, it doesn't exactly allow for the creation of new life. But again, I don't regret it. but I wish I could reduce portions of my life. Now, here's a question that I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys. Why should time even matter? Okay, before I ask this question, to me at least, time does matter, because I did do a little research that if we didn't have time, then existence would not even be a thing. Because quite literally, our body is time. Everything that we know is time. And it's an insane concept to even try and think about, could we even live without time? Because without time, there wouldn't really be any sense in living, because we wouldn't have a sense of normalcy, if you will. Things wouldn't even feel like they existed, because time is so integrated into everything. Yeah. I mean, before I go any deeper into that, the question I'm going to leave you guys with is, could we live without time? And I kind of already answered, at least from my side. I'm going to say no, because time is such an integrated part of the galaxy, the life, everything. Shit, I'm going to even argue that time is probably God. God's not even a thing. God is time. Shit. Hey, Christians or any religious believers, come at me, bro. AKA, I was joking, but at the same time, I'm kind of not. It would be interesting to think about that God may not even be a physical being. God could be time itself. Anyway, it is what it is. But I'm going to go ahead and leave this episode here before I try and make myself sound any crazier. With that said, the next episode will be out next week. I appreciate you guys listening. Like, subscribe, share with friends, and I'll see you guys soon.